Hey everyone, another day, another handheld, with this one being the Powkiddy RGB10X. I do have a little soft spot for the Powkiddy RGB10 range. The original RGB10 and the RGB10 Pro are some of the first experiment videos I remember doing with retro gaming handhelds, and the RGB10 Max was one of the first video reviews I ever did on this channel 3 and a bit years ago. And without skipping ahead too much in this review, it is somewhat fitting how much the RGB10X reminds me of those original handhelds. Before moving on to the specs though, I'd just like to take a quick moment to thank GoGameGeek in providing the review unit for this video, and as always my content and opinions remain my own. Moving on to the specs, the RGB10X is powered by the RK3326, which gives us access to some, but far from all, of the Dreamcast, Nintendo 64 and PSP back catalogues, and actually shares the same chip from the original RGB10s too. Though it is remarkable how the passage of time has seen it go from flagship to budget over the last 3 years. Otherwise, we've got 1GB of RAM, a 3.5-inch pretty bright display at a resolution of 640 by 480. We've got a relatively small 2800 mAh battery, no wireless capabilities, so no Wi-Fi or Bluetooth available, and a weight over just 200 grams, which is remarkably light. We also have the ArcOS firmware straight out of the box, which has all the customization options that you'll ever need inside it. So, straight out of the box, the RGB10X is a very simple, understated design. It doesn't have any fancy elements like HDMI out, and is pretty simple layout-wise. We've got a USB-C port, a headphone jack underneath, alongside inline shoulder buttons, a USB-C charge port, reset volume and power buttons on top. On the back, we've got an X graphic, which clashes a bit with the Powkiddy logo, but at least we don't actually have to look at it, being on the back. And we've got 2 microSD card slots, an OS-based slot on the left and a game slot on the right, though you can just use the OS slot for both OS and games if you like. Other than the face controls, we've got a couple of confusingly shaped plus and minus hotkeys, and a speaker grill for the mono speaker on the front. The controls of the RGB10X are good for a budget handheld. The inline shoulder L2 and R2 buttons are slightly raised compared to their L1 and R1 counterparts, and this gives a good physical indication of what button is what, while making each button individually and easily accessible. They're also pretty responsive all around their curved edges, which is something that occasionally is missed completely on budget handhelds. The analog stick isn't anything special, but equally isn't anything offensive, and recessed neatly so it's available just when you need it. The face buttons are a nice size, they have a slight level of hollowness to them, but this gives them a slight lightness to their feel, and they have a good all-round response to them. Likewise, the D-pad shares the same slightly light feel to it, but it offers a surprisingly good level of control, with it recessing just above the shell. It's one of those Goldilocks levels where literally a millimetre or two lower or higher and everything would feel completely off, but Powkiddy have got the recess level just about where it needs to be here, which we always do love to see. So straight out of the box we've got the ArcOS firmware, which is a pretty solid and pre-optimized OS, with everything scraped and good to go. There's a few options that can be slightly confusing here, like the network options available, which newcomers might get lost in without any wireless options available on the device itself, but overall it is a solid setup and it's available straight out of the box regardless. ArcOS is also pretty customizable too, so you are fully ready to tinker away if you'd like. So I'll cut some gameplay footage now before summarising back up at the end. Ultimately, the Powkiddy RGB10X will literally be nothing new to those who have owned a Powkiddy device over the last few years. However, with the holidays fast approaching, I think the RGB10X makes for a really solid budget option to try out retro handheld gaming on. It's got no wireless capabilities and feels outdated compared to the latest and greatest, but offers decent controls, decent screen and a pick up and go firmware straight out of the box, making it a solid introductionary option. That's it for now though, thanks so much for watching.